You better be ready for this.
You better be ready.
Fucking milking.
Come here. Wait, she has something to say.
Yeah, talking into the microphone.
Tell us. Get out of here.
All right.
Now I have no more felines to
Welcome
distract
back
us.
to the Bad Take Podcast.
Bad Take Podcast.
With my co-host,
Rupert Meza.
for the second time.
Sorry.
Mikey
Michael.
Mega. Mikey Meyer.
And
Our special guest. Very special
very
guest.
special guest,
In a dream.
In a dream.
the one and only.
No, in a dream.
Just
In
in
a
a
dream,
dream.
just in
He's
a
gonna
dream.
legally
Can't
change
let
it.
them know my name.
Bleep it out.
McCartney.
Bleep it out when
Oh
I
yeah,
say
no,
it.
I'm gonna hard bleep that.
Don't dox him. Just beep when I say his name.
No. With our special guest, Cowabunga McCartney.
Cowabunga McCartney.
Almost legal. That's a hard makeout sesh.
Thanks for being on the podcast, guys. And thanks for being on the podcast again. Mikey.
I feel like I'm attacked right now.
Yeah, we're gonna go down the list of our favorite albums of the year 2021. Mikey, what album?
Oh, you're starting with me?
Yeah, we're starting with
Sorry,
you. Let's start.
Dude, so,
The scene caught him off.
okay. So we're doing the worst of the three.
Yeah, number 3.
Yeah. Probably Donda,
Yeah.
Kanye.
Huh, very cool.
It
Yeah,
missed
interesting.
my list, but
Interesting,
only
Mikey.
slightly.
Yeah, mine was like, because the album, like, to me, the big, like, debate was which one was better, CLB or Donda.
And this one had DaBaby on it, so you're sold.
Yeah, if the baby's on your album,
Yo, let's
it's
go.
an
I
instant
was gonna
classic.
Which
It
is-
was Donda ever
intriguing.
really released? Like,
Well, here's the thing.
officially?
I think that was.
I don't know.
I don't know if it was marketing necessarily, but I know that I don't think he was ever gonna air quotes finish it.
Yeah.
Same thing he did with Life of Pablo. He
Yeah.
kept making edits, and the new version, the current version, is like I would say significantly better than the
It's so
original.
good.
So like,
It's so good.
I think that honestly,
Top
that might be
3
the new way
Kanye
to work on
album, to be
music is
honest.
release it and then adapt.
Edit
It's a
it.
bit weird though.
Yeah.
Could you imagine working on one of your songs after
No, I was
release?
just thinking about it just
Yeah,
now.
it sounds terrifying, right?
Should have
Sounds
a-
stressful.
Should have a segment on the show called Hot Take.
What? We call
We'll
it
talk
Bad
about
Take.
it later.
We're the name of the.
No, I
we
know.
could just call it Bad
It'll
Take.
be we'll storyboard it. Donda. I mean, Donda is just, it's good. It's a good Kanye album. But
Yeah.
it's not the best Kanye album. But
Donda,
for 2021,
Donda.
it's a really good album.
Are we getting your bad take on what the best Kanye album is?
Do you want to know?
Yeah,
My favorite Kanye album is 808s and Heartbreak.
that's a good album.
Yeah.
That's a good one.
That is not what I expected.
My
in the slightest.
favorite. Yeah.
That's
My
crazy.
second favorite is probably fucking,
Graduation?
No. Yeezy,
Yeah.
Yeezy.
Are you talking about Yeezus? Or are you talking
Yeezus.
about? Are you sure? Yeah, he's
The shoe Yeezy.
The Yeezy.
The Easy Shoe album.
No, Yeezus.
Interesting. All right.
Anyway.
Yeah.
Anything particular that
about
drew you to that?
Kanye.
Is there anything that drew you back to that album?
Kanye gets enough attention. We
But
don't
no,
need to-
was there anything beyond it being Kanye that drew you back to that album
To Donda?
consistently that made it like one of your favorites, or is it just like you heard it once and you're like, this
no,
is like really
I
great out
went
Kanye?
back to it. The past couple of days, I actually was listening to a couple of songs, and I just think that the whole album, like top to bottom, there's obviously some misses on the album.
I didn't.
The
I don't
one
think there's any
with
songs.
DaBaby
Okay.
is
Yeah,
a
yeah.
hit.
The reason it wins over for me over like CLB is that it feels more like it made people want to make music.
And CLB is just
Yeah.
hot trash.
People like CLB. I think as a pop album, it's fine.
Yeah.
There are worse pop albums that came out this year that get a lot of radio play.
But what
That's
is your take on Kanye and do
I
you-
am not listening to either of them for
No.
a few more years, just so, because the way Kanye is, he'll be like, he listened to me, and then he took my ideas from me.
That's actually a good
Damn.
So we
shout.
can't listen to it.
Not so much for the fear. I think it's a good shout. I think Kanye is gonna look a lot better in retrospect than he does currently. Because right now you can be very divisive because he's currently making a lot of bad takes or like crazy things, or
Yeah.
he's like constantly being put
With
out
Kim?
in front and stuff. And he's like in a bunch of media shit.
Did you
Yep,
freaking
yep.
hear about
Exactly.
him getting a house in front of Kim's house?
That is
No
that's
way.
hilarious.
Across the street from
That's such a
Kim's
flex.
house.
That's
he,
such a
he
flex.
does have kids with her, to be fair.
I know that is true, but the memes that I've seen about that, it's like like him staring.
How petty is
yeah.
that? That's so funny.
Whenever Pete, whenever Pete Davidson rolls up, he's always staring out the window. Like I can tell that's gonna happen.
But yeah, exactly.
dude.
Without all that stuff, I think Kanye becomes a lot more interesting,
Yeah.
in my
Well,
opinion. Like
I think-
musically, so in like 10 years, you're gonna listen back to all those records and be like, fuck yeah.
I think like he's not a genius, but he's
I don't know,
close.
dude. I don't know.
He's as close to a genius as a genius.
But
can
enough
be.
about Kanye. Let's go back
No,
to Drake.
yeah.
Please.
So anything else you want to add about why that like came back to you, or is it
No,
just the,
it's
kind of the
just-
consistency of it?
So when it came out, I listened to it like as a whole. I was like, this is pretty good. But then recently, I actually, because I love Kanye. I think Kanye is one of my favorite artists, like hip hop and just music in general. But him, like, I went back to it recently because I love him so much. And I think it got better the second time I listened to it.
It gave me an excuse before it came out to like re-listen to a couple of his other albums,
Yeah.
specifically Life of Pablo, because I try and do that pretty often.
Yeah.
And that album I think
Such a good
holds
album.
together better towards the end. Donda like has 2 versions of every song, so like
Yeah.
it kind of like by the end of it, it's kind of a lot more laborious of
Yeah.
listen. But I think as an
There's-
anthology thing, it's cool.
Yeah, you have to really like have some time to listen to.
So what about you, Robert? How do you feel
I
about
don't
that
know.
album?
I don't know. I didn't really listen to all of it. I feel like when it came out, like it was like a thing where, like everyone else was like listened to it, but didn't really like finish listening to it.
Yeah, every
'Cause it
single
was-
person I asked about it all said that like, "Hey, what do you think about it?" And I was
And
like,
they're
"I've listened
it's
to
good,
half,"
but
and
they
I
were
was
like,
"Yeah."
eh. And then I also did the same thing. I listened to like half of it, and it was good what I listened to, and then I just forgot about it. To be honest, it wasn't really like a top pick for me.
Yeah.
And so-
But
it like
I
you
was gonna
said,
say.
it did make me revisit like older Kanye stuff. Like I listened to a lot of Life of Pablo after that, and like
Yeah.
older stuff.
and
But-
unlike some other releases he's put out, I feel like this one, when you listen to the other ones next to it, you're not like Graduation's like, if you like Kanye, like a really freaking good record. So like if you listen to
So
it
good.
next to Jesus is King, like
It's
you
like-
might like it and you might love that album, but next to each other, I don't think that they necessarily stand in the same bracket of like inspiration, or at least inspiring to me. And I think this record does inspire me to make weirder sounds, because
Yeah.
he made a rap record with like very little drums on it, and I think that's
It's
something to be
crazy. It's,
said
like,
about
super
2021. Yeah, I think it's cool that he can still be like, hey, fuck your trends, like it
Yeah.
doesn't really matter. And I think that absurdity helps other musicians feel more comfortable to step outside of the cage, things that maybe other albums that came out in 2021 that competed with this one didn't do at all ever at all period.
Like Drake.
Yeah, no bad take.
Drake.
No,
Yeah.
no Drake.
Anything else about this album that really stood out, or
Dude, I mean, Kanye, man. It's just
Kanye.
Kanye. I think, like, because even
give
when
it a Kanye at a Kanye.
I'll give it a
But he's
Kanye.
Yeah.
been-
He's ye.
he's
My,
ye.
um,
Yay.
Yeah, because when Jesus is King came out, I was like, Kanye doesn't really miss. But then I listened to it, I'm like, oh,
It missed. It missed.
kind of a miss.
Yeah,
'Cause it's like-
that's a bad take.
The Chick-fil-A
It's
song.
good.
No, I think
I don't
that's
listen
the
to
best
it. The only
song
song,
on the record.
the only song I recall from that is the Chick-fil-A. song.
Yeah. She my Chick-fil-A.
There's some
Chick-fil-A.
good production on there. I think that if he listens to it in
it's
like
good.
10 years, he'll be like, that was cool. That was really cool. I'm glad
Yeah.
you did that.
Yeah.
I did that a few times re-listening to a couple of the songs, but yeah, it doesn't hit like
Yeah,
even this album does.
well, I wouldn't necessarily say it's a miss, but I would say it's not a hit. Like it doesn't hit. It's not a knock in the park. But it's yeah, so that's why I like Donda so much, is because like Jesus is King came out and then Donda did, and it's like, okay, he's back. Like
All right.
Yeah.
I'm like, this is the Kanye I know, rather than like praise the Lord Kanye. Which is not a bad Kanye.
No, it's cool. I think
Yeah,
I
I
think the
like
journey
it.
he went on brought him here, and I think his
Yeah.
next record will be pretty
It's
cool.
I can't wait.
I don't even know if it'll be a record. I think he's gonna
Maybe
try and
not.
do something crazier, but just
Yeah.
cool.
A movie,
A whole presidency album.
a musical.
All right.
Let's
Do you want to
move
go to you next, or do you want to go right next, Rob?
Let's go to.
So probably least favorite, but of my top favorite would be
You-
the Paranoid album, To See the Next Part of a Dream, which is a shoegaze album from South Korea.
That's
Ooh.
the
South
one with
Korea?
the blue and the smoke coming
yeah,
out.
yeah.
I
that's the one.
fucking
that's-
love
that one's
this
awesome.
album. It's
Yeah.
so good.
I went into listening to this not knowing any. Like I just clicked on the link and started listening to my car at night, and the feeling, I was like, what? And then second thing, hearing them sing in a language I had no idea what was happening was like the coolest, like puts you into a different spot. where
yeah,
like, holy
I
shit,
love that.
what?
Like, okay, so on this topic, what do you? Yeah, like different language like songs are so good. Like Plastic Love, right? Have you guys heard that? It's like that, like Plastic Love's good because it's in like Japanese, and then also, you know, Trico and like all those other bands. I'm like, I don't know. It just like it's like what do you think? Because you don't understand the words, but it's like it feels good.
No, that's one of the main things. Yeah, so couldn't understand anything he was saying,
Yeah.
and then afterwards, when I actually looked up the actual lyrics and stuff, it was like, yeah, that's what I was feeling. Anyways, there's a bunch of things about isolation and being lonely and all this kind of stuff. It's just one guy making it all. He might not even be using guitars on a shoegaze album.
That's crazy.
Which is interesting. Just a bunch of MIDI.
Oh, is
Yeah.
it all fake guitars?
It might be.
No
Oh,
way.
okay.
Yeah, I know, right?
Really?
It's
Yeah.
hard to tell. There, as I said, the feeling of like this record, like you feel like things pop out of you that almost don't exist. Like the noise almost creates other like harmonic feedback in certain ways, and I think that's really interesting. Yeah, they do feel like not traditional shoegaze guitars, but they still feel like shoegaze.
Yeah, like written the same kind of way.
Yeah,
Yeah.
it gives it the same vibe, which is insane for a record that came out in 2021.
Right? With one person. Sick. Yeah, that thing inspired the hell out of me. Yeah.
Hell yeah. It's super raw too. Like I just like the shoegaziness of it. So sick. Just like I'm sorry.
that
I don't know.
an
I don't know how to
adjective?
describe it. I don't know how to describe it. Just like that first track, like reeled me in so quick. Like it was so
Right.
nice.
Yeah.
Good album. If you haven't listened to it,
Mm-hmm.
listen to it. You have anything?
Have you listened to it at all?
I haven't listened to
Oh.
it. That's why I'm just listening.
Yeah, it's sick. Yeah,
I have
check it
nothing
out.
to
You
say.
should. I would say
But
legitimately.
it's intriguing.
Yeah, in a
because
room.
that alone in the dark, naked,
Yeah, exactly.
to it.
Exactly.
No, for
On
real.
mushrooms, yeah.
Like for real.
and acid.
It'll,
and
it'll take you somewhere.
In a vulnerable space, I think that
I would want to.
shoegaze really
Yeah.
envelops you in a way that like I can't explain. Like I some industrial like noise rock stuff feels very similar, but this feels very again tender because there's like this melodic consistency that really forms through this like wall of noise you're getting.
I forgot how I even found it because I remember bringing it up to you because you showed me it.
And then you
And I
told
was
me your
like-
friend was really into it.
Yeah, I
Yeah.
think Dylan actually showed me this.
That would make sense.
Yeah, Dylan showed me this. He's like, dude, check out this
Shout
like
out Dylan.
thing. And then yeah,
Yeah.
super weird. And
Good
then
job,
like,
man.
I don't know. It was like very low view count too, right?
Mhm.
I don't know.
It was
I don't
before
know.
the Pitchfork review.
Oh,
Is
that's
there? Oh,
interesting.
really?
Mhm.
Yeah, for it being very kind of like lo-fi, bit crushy, like it was very well produced in that for that kind of music for sure.
That kind of
That kind of music, I guess. I mean,
Does
you
this-
know, how
would-
clean can you get?
Would this inspire you to make music in different languages?
No, but it'll make you want to make music on your own.
That's true.
Mm-hmm.
I think it makes me want.
Yeah, it would make you realize the more you put into it, it's just going to translate if you fucking do it right like that.
Yeah, there's something about INADRM, the INADRM project person, music, you know,
Guy.
mogul. The
Yeah.
music itself, like a lot of the songs that you have, like feel like as I've said, like I didn't even know the lyrics were there until I heard it the third or fourth time. So in that way, I think it does inspire you to like make things that connect before needing to be explained. If that makes any sense, like you're not trying to justify what's being said or how it's being heard, because like
Yeah.
what it is what you want, right? So it's not like it's not making any excuses in a lot of ways that lyrics try to excuse their way into existing in a song.
I feel like because just in the like talking about this genre, I feel like there's a sense of connection you have with the actual instrumentation rather than just the lyrics. Like you can feel the effort and maybe the pain and the emotion that they're putting into playing the music rather than speaking and singing and stuff like that.
Yeah, it's something that it feels like it's angst, right? It needs
Right.
to get out in a
I
way
feel
that
I feel like
can't be
that's
quite
very
described.
true with a lot of your picks for sure.
Yeah, I would agree. A lot more in a dream's a lot. I'm gonna get that every time. In a dream is a lot more
That's
angsty
his
than he
stage
leads
name.
on. But but again, it doesn't feel aggressive. It feels very accepting in a way
Right.
that your
I-
music and also this record both feel very accepting in a way that like a lot of the assumptions would contradict maybe.
Did this inspire any of your musics, like this album that just dropped?
Yeah, well, no, actually, none of that one, but it made me make a song with guitar again starting.
Yeah.
It made me just start up again.
The actual Anything else that you or Mikey have anything to say about the interest in it? You haven't heard it.
No, I'm like as soon as you started talking about it and said like it was from South Korea.
Yep.
My interest
stuff.
peaked.
The best stuff.
I need to listen to it.
You're like, bet.
Yeah, because I love like.
No, it also it surprised me because it also has a lot of like weird time signatures and like I was like, is this a math rock album? I was like super excited.
Oh man.
But it's not. It's not a math rock album. But it is really interesting in that sense. I really liked. That's what like really drew me.
Anything
like,
with weird time signatures, it's already good to me. I don't even need to listen to it. If it has a strange
weird
or
meter,
odd time signature, I'm into it. Yep.
Probably like it then.
I hope that if anything, this podcast
hope
should
there's
inspire you
something
to listen to
extra.
some music you never heard before, right? So that's good. Some of the stuff a lot more popular than other stuff. Like this is one of the smaller artists that really deserves some plays because honestly, that being made in
super
like
2021
such a
is
weird
pretty
dynamic
amazing.
from mine to his. It's super interesting. I went from Kanye and then
I think it's an excuse to discuss the idea of Kanye.
No,
too.
yeah.
This is an open environment.
Well, then you can add the Kanye tag
a safe
and bring
space.
them in.
Listen, if you could back
I
to
just
back
wanted
Kanye
to.
and
I
that
just
record,
wanted to make sure I mentioned Kanye for his. Album.
Yeah.
And we're starting at the bottom anyway, so.
Now we hear.
Now we're here. Yeah.
All right.
Shout out Drake.
Anything else about this album?
No.
Okay.
Listen to this one, yeah.
No.
That's
Yeah,
what
go
you
listen
wanna
to
get
it.
inspired.
The only thing
honestly
you
If you
like,
like,
worth
yeah,
it.
things made by one person, if you like that kind of thing, this is sick.
Dude, I might do a listening stream.
You should
Yeah.
for real do that, and I'll link it. Let me know. That's
Yeah.
pretty sick.
I'll do that.
I think that's fun. Okay, cool. Wait, does that mean it's my turn?
It's
My
your
number
turn,
3 is
Matthew.
probably and it's only number 3 on my list of favorites because I haven't gotten enough time to like process it fully, and I still want to listen to it about like 30 more times before giving any specifics. But it's an album I want to do, maybe even with INADRM on here, because it's something in depth that I'd love to like all have had processed every single song because there's so much depth into it. But the JPEG Mafia album, LP exclamation point.
LP. LP.
Yeah, it's LP.
LP.
He released 2 versions. One's that's on all the streaming services, and then like an offline version you can find on YouTube and other places.
They're all different.
Which has, it's a different track listing, which I again have enough time to like digest the differences between it and how the album feels as a whole between them. I'm sure it does feel different, but the most notable differences I think are because some samples couldn't get cleared, so they're not in there. So the offline version, I would assume, is more true to JPEG Mafia's vision, but
That's cool.
this is experimental rap, I guess. Is that where we are at musically? It's experimental rap of some sort, and it incorporates like a bunch of different genres. Where there's like a whole like stadium metal like breakdown. I think I showed raw.
I remember this track.
Yeah.
It's super.
Which comes out of nowhere,
weird.
and
Yeah.
after it goes back into like more of a
And
standard.
it goes hard.
Yeah.
It goes hard. Like the beats on it are like super, and the samples on it, yeah, super great.
I don't know if any of you actually heard this album all the way through because it's a
No,
lot.
yeah.
It's a lot
I've
of an
never heard
album.
I've seen just a little bit of it. Or I've heard what
yeah,
you showed me,
heard it.
and then little bits and pieces.
Yeah, this is why it's at my lowest. Is because there's so much to invest into.
How long is it? Do you remember?
I don't remember the exact runtime. There's
Is
a bunch
it
of tracks
as long
on
as
it.
Donda?
I think that they're both long albums.
Yeah.
This one's interesting because there's so much to digest. Even in one song that could last 2 minutes, there's enough things to listen to a few times before you really even get like what's happening where.
Yeah, really cool.
Yeah,
Really cool.
and
Go give
again,
it
the
a
mastering and everything, he mixes, masters, produces, and performs. And I think that, as you said, something made by one person, this really feels like an idea from a man that got to do what he wanted, and that's rare to hear, especially on this level.
JPEG Mafia LP.
Rob.
I think for the lowest on my list, I probably would have to say that Snail Mail record, that Valentine.
It's on there, though?
Yeah, yeah, yeah.
make
barely.
him
It's
rethink.
barely hanging on.
No,
I really
it's
like
cool.
it, but
Yeah.
also I think it's growing on me. Compared to what Snail Mail had to offer before, this is kind of like a little dud to me, in a way.
So here's the thing. I have a lot to say about this record, despite not like necessarily being my favorite one. I think that it's interesting, that you'd pick it, because I think that there's a bit of, I don't want to say nostalgic because I think there's a negative context towards that, but definitely amount of like, you love the artist, so you want to hear more regardless of it being like necessarily air quotes better.
Yeah,
This album is better. Like I think she has more time to write songs.
It's
I think
very
the music
well
is better
produced. It's very clean. You could tell there's a lot more money. There's a lot more money in this.
It was INADRM's hoodie.
The freaking
INADRM.com.
visuals to this album, I don't know. There's music videos and shit, but the visuals are amazing, and there's just definitely a budget to this.
I
And
haven't
she's sponsored
seen any
by Fender.
of the videos
and,
at all.
You know what I mean?
Hell yeah, dude.
I feel very sad because she was gonna go on tour with this album, and I think she got like some sort of like her vocal cords. She had to have like surgery on her vocal cords, so she
I
couldn't.
saw that, yeah.
So like she couldn't perform, and I think maybe next month or something, or in a couple months she'll be able to do it. But yeah, she had like this whole like freaking like long tour like set up, and imagine like getting your vocal cords fucked up, and you're like,
Fuck that.
you know,
That's terrifying.
very sad. But she brought this out this album.
Yeah.
and
Well, so
Now
what
we're talking about
what
it.
draws you to it? Like you obviously like felt like with all of the like Dondas and stuff that released this year and whatever else Home Shake. Like what drew
Don't
you
have to
back to
mention
this?
it.
Is it the artists themselves and what they want, like hearing more from them, or is it like
Yeah,
something with the music that like really draws
the,
you in?
the nostalgia of it. I mean, it's not like bad. Like no song on there is really like awful. I would say, right? They're each very, you know, very different from what I thought was gonna come out, and you know, it's at first I was like, I don't like this, but you know, listening to it more, like it's like, okay, this is very cleanly produced, and it's interesting to see what she would do with no limitations, I
Yeah,
guess,
yeah.
or with more of a bigger budget, and like this is, you know, kind of what she wants to do. So
I
that's
think
fine.
second records are incredibly interesting in the band, like or an artist
I'm
trying to find themselves.
I'm excited to see what comes next. So
Yeah.
I'm not giving up on them, is what I'm saying. This is that album that I'm like, okay.
You're like I'm still in it. I think that the thing that both me and you loved about that first record, other than just timing and the way it sounds, like is the like kind of what's the term? Like the kind of rawness of it.
Yeah.
And I feel like any more production quality and time and money ends up in that not being. If you did that in that situation, it sounds disingenuous, right? Like, have you listened to this record?
I have not.
No, okay.
I've heard some. I think you showed me a couple of songs.
I've played a couple in the car.
and I didn't know it was like, I didn't know what it was or who.
But have you
who
listened
it
to
was.
old Snail Mail?
I've never heard of Snail Mail before that.
I would recommend listening to her first record,
Yeah.
especially like there's a few songs. I would just put
I
it on from
thought-
the beginning.
Well, I will
hits.
say that the tracks that you showed me were really good. Like I enjoyed them immensely,
That's
Mhm.
good.
and that's why I was intrigued, like with, because I liked their name or her name, I guess, Snail Mail. I thought that was a really funny name, so I was like, oh, cool, I like that.
It is a solid name.
It is a pretty
it's
good
a
name,
good
dude.
name.
It used
but
to
you know
be-
what's better?
It used to be this game on like, I remember this, it used to be this like little like kind of temple run game, but it was on like the iPhone when the iPod Touch came out. Like,
Is this where it
just came
comes
out.
from, or just something that
I don't know if that's where it
unlocked a
comes
memory
from,
for
but
me?
yeah, it just like,
Snail
it was like
Mail.
Snail Mail, and I was like, I remember that fucking game. But yeah, Snail Mail,
Snail Mail.
Very
the tracks I heard were really
interesting,
good, so.
but
I'm gonna check
definitely
them
worth a
more
listen
out.
for sure if you're a Snail Mail fan of
Yeah.
the first.
Just an indie rock fan. I think you
But
probably heard it.
yeah, I think
well.
it's on. I mean, I think it hit a top number or something because it's
No,
like,
it's a good record. Like I think objectively, I just think what brought me into listening to Snail Mail specifically
it's
isn't
the-
as present
it's
on this
very-
record.
Yeah, yep.
So I haven't gotten invested in it. But as he said, like you can put these songs on. I think very interestingly, in stark contrast to the album we just talked about for INADRM, one of his top picks. This is like a lot more palatable and straightforward, and I think a good
I feel-
juxtaposition. It really brings you into perspective of the
I also feel
different
like-
feelings to get from music.
I feel like this album's more just her, rather than I think the other album is like her and her band.
Yeah.
You know what I mean?
You'll really appreciate. There's some really cool. There's a live performance she did on KEXP. I think a while ago.
Shout out
KEXP. No,
KEXP.
it's worth listening to
INADRM.com.
because there's some cool transitions where she goes from like
There's
this
a
cool
really
like
cool transition.
yeah, it goes from like this 6/8 song, and then the drummer just kind of rides on the hi hat and just goes directly.
That's pretty
into
sick,
another one.
actually. It leads into another song.
Yeah, like it's
That is
like
insane.
But
it's
so,
like
it's
cool.
like
That's
it's just so
really sick.
flawless. Like you don't even know that it's like a new song. It's like
That's
in
I
a
probably
different
wouldn't
time.
know.
It's good. I'll show you at some point.
Yeah,
I-
you should show me.
worth
It's,
listening
whenever-
to. I
whenever
think
you
Snail
want, I
Mail
guess.
as an artist has made some good music, and I think that this album is a betterment in songwriting, and I'm excited, as you said, to hear
And
more.
I'm very proud of her. And
I'm proud of her.
I'm proud
I'm
of her.
proud of her.
And
and she
mail.
gets my seal of
I mean,
proud of you.
approval.
she got endorsed by Fender. She could have been.
That's the.
She could have been endorsed by Jackson or some shit. But
Oh, you're proud of her. She chose Fender.
Dude, I'm
Just
proud
like
of
Ben
her.
Gibbard. I mean, anything else you want to add
Marshall.
about that album specifically?
Meh. Meh.
Okay.
It's up there, but
It's
it's
up
it's
there.
also not.
This is
I
your
think it's
third,
interesting.
though.
This is on your list of favorite albums,
Okay.
and you're like, meh.
Meh. I mean, it's a good album.
That's how 2021.
But that's the
was,
thing.
though.
I didn't really. I don't know.
Maybe that feeling is
not
what you needed.
There's not a ton. Yeah. I mean.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Who does that bring us back to? Michael.
Mikey
My number
Maga.
two?
Mikey.
Okay.
Cool. Here we
My
go.
number 2
Mikey.
is the Pretty Reckless, Death by Rock and Roll.
I have not. I didn't.
Yeah, I assume
I-
you guys wouldn't know the rest of mine because I didn't tell you. But
Yeah. Well, okay. By the way, last
Context.
minute, but we're
Yeah.
excited to have Michael here.
yeah, I'm excited to be here in a dream studio.
Oh, yeah.
No, a Pretty Reckless, Death by Rock and Roll. It's so good. It's like
I'm gonna pull this up on my phone just so it's
please.
like some context and
There's
visual.
yeah, there is a naked girl on the cover.
Is that girl jumping over the camera?
No, it's the girl
That's
laying
Lord.
on a log.
Which one's that one?
That's Lord.
Lord.
That is
yeah,
Lord, yeah.
That's Lord. Okay, sorry.
That is.
This is not what I expected.
It's rock. Insane features on this. Like Tom Morello, half of Soundgarden. It's featured on a song. Two of the members, the bass player and is I don't know, and the singer is the
Wait,
other half
the singer of. Oh yeah. Okay,
the
I see
other
what you're saying.
half
I'm with you now.
of Soundgarden, the good half, in my opinion. Kim Thal and Matt Cameron are featured on
The
that.
guitar player is pretty good. Yeah.
What kind of music is this?
It's like rock. It's like
Obviously, yeah, it's rock.
it's like hard
like-
rock. Yeah.
Oh
no,
wow,
that's
okay.
like an alternative.
yeah. I could see why you like this.
That's an alternative. It's good though. The music is so good.
I'll have to give it a listen. I imagine what I'm
There was-
picturing now is
There's like different
pretty cool.
There's like different drummers on each of the songs, but the album in itself, like the rock aspect is good, but there's also like there's kind of an indie aspect to it. There's like indie elements, like indie influences and stuff like that. There's some songs that are really soft, and kind of vibey, and the others are like the one with Matt Cameron and Kim Thal. That's like the heaviest song on the album, is really grungy, and it sounds like a Soundgarden song with Pretty Reckless.
but it's not metal. Right?
It's not metal. No, it's
Right.
rock.
It's
What's
okay.
what's the big what's the big No, what drew you in originally? Is it a band you were listening to previously?
What, Soundgarden?
No.
I love Soundgarden.
Yeah, Soundgarden, arguably the only grunge band.
Soundgarden?
The Garden with sound.
What
yeah.
drew you into the band? Did you already know the band Pretty Reckless? The Pretty
I've
Reckless
heard.
before?
That's funny because I've actually heard the name Pretty Reckless, but I thought it was a movie.
Okay, so
I
this
thought it
is
was
the
a
album that
movie.
drew you into this
This is
band
the
itself?
first album I've heard by this band,
Okay.
but I've heard the name The Pretty Reckless
Okay.
before.
And this one's better than Donda.
Yeah,
Okay.
Is it real? Okay,
In my
that's
opinion.
interesting. Yeah.
in my opinion.
What makes it better? Like to you, what makes you
Well,
more inspired,
obviously,
excited?
everything
other
is
than,
everything here is subjective, but like this
Yeah.
this album to me is better than that because it's just an overall. It's not as long. First of all,
Okay.
it's complete. Like you were saying with
Thought
the
out,
other
like
album, it's
fully
actually
thought out.
it's
Listening
actually
through.
like it's actually a complete, well made, well produced record that has a start to finish with no like repeats or anything like
feels
that.
concise
It
and
feels,
like a package.
Yeah, it feels straightforward. Like, okay, but the songs are unique enough to where you want to keep listening to it. Like you want to keep
Okay.
going instead of like, oh, this just feels like a normal, like another rock record.
Yeah, I imagine if they have a bunch of different artists like
Tom
featuring
Morello.
and
Yeah,
having some,
that Tom Morello
Jeez.
song is super crazy. He does, in my opinion, Tom Morello on that song. First of all, hot take, TM. That I hate Tom Morello. Like I
Really?
love him as a person.
Yeah.
Because he's
yeah.
a super cool
You don't
guy.
like the.
I hate his guitar playing. I hate his guitar playing. That's a really hot take, scorching hot take. I hate his guitar playing.
I love it. It's
But
good.
It's
this
a lot.
song,
so revolutionary.
but this song the song that he's in, he actually has some really, really sick riffs. like some really crazy, unique riffs, along with his bow playing. But it's not like rage, bounce. It's more like he actually came up with it for the vibe the record gives off.
That's good. I mean, I think I'll have to give it a listen.
It's
Obviously,
so good.
I haven't heard it.
If you
all.
like,
I can't
if you
speak
like
to
that
it.
kind of music, like if you like rock and if you like chick singers,
Always
allegedly,
a fan. Always a fan.
Always a
Not
fan
gonna
of
say
chick.
no.
yeah, her voice is so good.
Female
though.
voices are important to be heard. I think that there's a
It's-
stunning lack of them on most record counts.
They're
I
so
think it's
good.
interesting.
I feel like I'm like seeing more female artists like.
It's
guys,
just
and it's like-
the overall like because I love this kind of like I grew up listening to this kind of music, so I'm just like I automatically kind of like evolved or not evolved like flocked towards
Yeah,
it.
basically based upon the music interests you displayed on the last time you were on the podcast. You talk a lot about 90s bands that you really love, and I think 90s rock being a big staple in this, whether that's the musicians themselves or genre.
90s, yeah, that's why I think obviously like it goes without saying like my favorite song on the record is the one with Kim Thal and Matt Cameron.
The 90s.
I'll have to
Yeah,
listen
the
to this.
90s
You're really
one.
getting me excited about
Yeah,
this.
that
one.
sounds cool.
It's so good, and even the ones with just her and her band, it's like it's really good. Like it's super.
Is she the primary songwriter, or is it kind of is it a band?
It's her,
writing?
yeah.
Oh,
Like, it's her main. It's kind of like a solo project, but not named after
consistent
her.
members probably.
Yeah,
The Haley
consistent-
Williams.
Right. Yeah, like Haley Williams to Paramore. Yeah.
Cool.
Yeah.
Give it a listen. That's,
Please give it a listen. It's so good. Pretty
Death
Reckless.
by Rock and
Pretty
Roll.
Reckless.
Death by Rock and Roll.
Yeah.
This is Pretty Reckless. Death by Rock and Roll.
On the
Your
Bad Take
your next
podcast.
album has a girl
Please.
singer in it, right?
It's two trans artists. It's
Hell
Black
yeah.
Dresses. The album is Forever in Your Heart, and it's got a cool ass. If you saw it on YouTube at all, it's got a visualizer throughout the whole thing. They made the video, which is pretty
Really?
sick. Yeah.
I didn't see the YouTube version. I think I did, but I listened to it while driving, so I couldn't.
Oh,
see
okay,
it.
good. You didn't see it. Yeah, it's pretty sick.
Did they go
Actually,
by,
no,
like-
no. I did see some of it, and I put it. Okay, I didn't watch it and drive.
Allegedly.
But I did keep it on because it was
Don't try this
aesthetically
at
really good. Actually, yeah, I remember keeping my phone on.
No, it
because
really
like,
sets the vibe for what the music is. I think it contradicts some of the sounds almost in a very poetic way, which sounds very heady. But I think that is honestly the thing that drew me in a little bit extra. Saying that
It's like
was
watching
oh.
a crime and listening to Beethoven.
Mm.
I mean, a little bit. It's like classical music, and to set
That
a
was a lot
eerie
to take
tone.
in.
There's something very calming about the visuals. Something very real and cuts through.
Oh yeah, there's one part in there, she's just screaming this really intense part of feeling isolated, and it's just the two of them just hanging out underneath a bridge thingy, both
Oh,
laughing.
shit.
So it's pretty cool.
Damn.
Yeah, right.
Are they public about their pronouns?
Please.
But
No,
I don't know
think
if they
it's
actually
important.
have it out there even.
They may
so.
not. I'm gonna go with they because we don't know.
Mhm.
Out of respect to they.
They.
They. All right, but yeah, I think that this album, I think interesting. I also don't know who's who. When I hear it, or who's making.
I didn't
the
know.
vocals feel so aggressive, but yet clear in a certain way. And I think not knowing really what's coming next is the biggest takeaway from my experience with it.
Are they local?
Nope, they're
Canadian,
from.
right?
Yep.
They're from Canada.
Mm-hmm.
Shout out.
Shout out
I
to
didn't know it was
Canada.
two
Shout out to
people.
Canada,
I thought it was
to
just
be
one.
honest.
Exactly my point. It puts
Yeah.
you now thinking about that, trying to peck out what's happening where. I think it's very it puts you in a space of almost again the whole album it's a space of guessing.
Very
Definitely
good
check
album.
that one out. It's so good.
Very
That thing,
very,
that
very
thing made
good.
me write more honestly because it's just there's no bullshit in
You
it.
It's
hit
like-
play on that
That's-
at practice
that's
one
great.
time, and it was
Like,
insane.
It's hard, shoegazy, very raw, powerful, scat,
Scat.
very
Is there scat
poetic.
albums?
spoken word.
Yeah.
Yeah, a lot of
It's-
spoken word style
Yeah,
delivery.
I say there's a lot of any album. I think a lot of genres are a lot
And
more
screaming.
genres are present than you would ever say.
It's
You
like a
call it
good-
an indie rock band, but the music is more than that. What would you what form of this took your attention first? Was it the shoegaziness
No, I think
of
it's
it?
the way she delivers things.
The
or-
the
yeah.
vocalization to me is
Yeah.
what
by
told
screaming.
me.
No,
Not
no,
always,
no,
no.
the spoken word
No.
ones mainly. 'cause it
After
goes
that
with-
track,
yeah.
No, there's spoken word. There's melodic lines. There's slightly dissonant singing, or it's not even dissonant. It's good singing over.
Yeah.
with
Yeah, there's really good
notes.
singing, and then there's the dissonant singing.
Yeah, and again, as you get deeper in the record, it feels like they start showing more and more, and it feels like unwrapping this I don't know, this crazy web of like intrigue. And I think again the vocals going from a very heavy thing to dropping to like some melodies to these very clean spoken word things and back is really, really insane. Again, the melodies on, I forget what song it is, but there's this one really dry vocal display of like this singing part. I forget on which album or what song, and it made me question a lot of things like musically. I was like, oh, you can do that. And
Is it the one
really
with the
cool.
simple melody on it?
Yeah,
The
it's just two notes. Yeah.
Yeah.
and the entire time it morphs over the chords in a way that like feels atonal but feels like perfect and feels like maybe it's not on perfect at certain points, but the deliveries feels really clean. Actually very similar to the way that you do the vocal delivery on this new Set Yourself Free record version of what song is it? It's the one we do live.
Tried to tell you before.
Yeah. Like the very dry, like it's a note, but it cuts in a way, and I think that it made me really excited. And I saw the like, I don't know if you did it before. You did do it before you heard that album, right?
No, I did it after.
You did? Okay,
Yep.
cool. Maybe he was inspired by that because I think that was my biggest takeaway was that you can do that, and it sounds great.
Yeah, you can just get right on the mic straight. Yeah,
it just feels
stopped.
clean.
I just hopped right on. Actually, is this one right here? Yeah, I
Yeah.
stopped even using a condenser. I was like, all right, I got something to say, and then I just jumped on this one.
And it feels like immediate and clear and like your voice, like the inside voice, and
Yep.
I think that's cool. Yeah. Anyway, it made me excited. That whole record, and listening to it last night again in the dark and like an empty stoplight, like it's really surreal and amazing.
That's why it's on my list of it. Just these are the 3 albums that made me want to write the most this year.
Yeah, very
Yeah,
inspiring.
that's amazing.
Very, very cool.
Made me want to make more things, and it made me feel more okay with making things.
Yeah, right. Exactly. Just like gives you permission to do whatever.
And that's the like I was saying,
Support
that's the best kind of
local
music.
artists.
Even if they're not your local, just
No,
go
yeah.
listen to
Support-
Support small artists.
Small and maybe local artists.
Organic artists.
Organic artists.
Going around and keep moving on. Follow me, set me free.
Something,
I'm gonna escape from the city.
Follow
I need you to follow me.
Oh,
that's a hot battery. That's a hot take.
So that was
Black Dresses.
Black Dresses Forever in Your Heart.
Forever in Your Heart. That again, go listen. Spotify. It's on.
Another inspiring
Oh, the
album.
YouTube,
That one's
go-
only on
sorry,
YouTube.
It's
Yeah,
only
it's
on
not-
YouTube,
yeah,
and that
Bandcamp.
visualizer's
Yeah.
well worth watching anyway. So.
And there was a cassette copy that showed up at Bookman's in Mesa.
Oh damn, we
yeah,
should have
no,
bought
it was
that.
$100.
What?
Yeah.
You didn't cop it?
No, there's only 300 copies total
Oh,
worldwide.
that makes that a lot more interesting. We can go
Exactly.
research
My
a little
friend
more.
just sent me the picture of it. Yeah.
That's crazy. All right. I think that takes. Is that to me?
Mm-hmm.
That's you?
It's you.
Oh, okay.
Unless you want me to go.
No, I'll go. My number 2 pick is "Friends That Break Your Heart" by James Blake.
Nice.
Well worth listening to if you like pop music. His voice draws you in. If you haven't heard James Blake before, he has a beautiful silky man voice, and he writes great songs. But I think the thing that drew me in and made me love this is with the weird like dance breaks and stuff that he has in there, the sample chops, the way he pitches and morphs his own voice into an instrument that doesn't feel like an alter to himself and how well he can sing or what things can sound like. They all feel like a man in his room by himself making something that really excites him. And I think it connects in a different way. While I think that last record gives me emotions that I really can't describe, this just puts me in a place that really takes me. It's like that, if you ever done yoga, they say like picture like trees or whatever. Or, like it puts me in that kind of tranquil state
Flamingos.
where I feel a lot more vulnerable, but a lot more accepting. While it's less foreign to me, it excites me in a way that like I don't think a lot of other records make you feel like that. There's also a couple tracks that like just like by the chorus you just kind of want to smile and like vibe out to them. They just feel so genuine that it's hard to like describe. Yeah. Have you listened? Yeah, I haven't listened. I showed you one song with there's a JID verse on there. I showed you in the car. You probably don't remember super well because you were tired. But it's just it's cool. And there again that JID and Suave, I think.
I think I
really
vaguely
hits.
remember.
Yeah,
Yeah.
and the way that he pitched their vocals and made them feel as a part of the song as he is, if not more a part of that song, it hits in a way that they feel after all these ethereal kind of singing, all these crazy chord changes and modulations and the stuff, going directly into these very clean rap verses that are beautifully delivered. And then it goes back into all of this craziness that he kind of just thought up in his room or whatever. And I feel like it's one of the few, again, pop records that feel super controlled by the person making it. Very artistically him.
Hell yeah.
Right. Yeah, it is.
I
Yeah.
have nothing to say about it.
You should go listen to it if you. I don't know. There's a
Like-
couple songs I'll show to you, and I'll have you like listen to because I think
Yeah.
you'll be really intrigued. Just musically alone.
What
Music
other,
stream.
What other music stream.
You
I
can music
wanna-
stream this.
I want to like do a stream on Twitch of all the artists and albums that you guys have said. Player select.
That's battle.
Yeah, so I don't think
Double
any.
back.
I think the only person here that's really heard some of this record is, and we
In a
were watching
dream.
it together before one of our practices, and as we discussed, I think the modular, the very like plucky kind of synth sounds, his choices all are what I think excited me the most. It's less about him, more about the things he made.
What like would you who are I guess you can't really do that, but like if you had to, like who would you compare, like what artist would you compare this record to?
The-
Well, I was telling Matt, it's like a better version of like the Tom York burial fortet thingies.
Yeah.
Because that's what they're going for in a way. It sounds like it's like a garage house.
Yeah, so
No, Tom York was Tom York collaborating with house producers and stuff. It sounds like that, but a better version because it's one guy doing the singing and they're producing and everything. Yeah.
It feels like two people, one person making this cool EDM house stuff,
Damn.
and then this like very technically proficient vocalist and songwriter, and I think that we rarely get anything like that feels as genuine as this. There's been plenty of records that have tried to capture what this has done, and I would say does it more effectively than most of the ones I even love. So
Yeah.
shout outs James Blake for doing a fucking
James
great
Blake.
job.
James Blake, man.
Yeah, no, I mean,
JamesBlake.com.
yeah, probably. Go listen. Honestly, support that man.
/in a
Yeah, I'll have
dream.
to, I've been
Yeah.
kind of on a little EDM kick, so I'll have to listen.
Yeah,
Yeah, it
feels
doesn't
like this
feel
is
super.
sick,
It's not
yeah.
even super drivey, but
I'll
when
send
it
you some
hits,
good
it
ones
hits.
from him too. Yeah.
Very interesting.
Yeah, yeah.
Mhm.
Honorable mention, I guess, because it's not on any of our list. The Ross with Friends record from this year.
Yeah, Tread.
Fantastic.
Mhm.
I would argue the production on both of those hold as in a similar vein, hold very high. They're
Well,
both great.
Thanks a lot, Matt. You spoiled my last one. No, I'm just
No,
kidding.
did you actually?
No.
No, I was about to be like, holy crap.
Holy
if so,
shit.
What the
mad
hell?
respect.
Those are mine.
Ross with Friends, shout outs, amazing
Yeah.
producer.
Rubik's Cube solver.
I've heard
Rubik's
some.
Cube
I've
solve
heard
and producer.
some. I've heard some of
R.I.P.
them
Betty White.
Are is it just one guy?
She's
Yep.
dead,
Yeah.
unfortunately now.
I've heard some of them.
She's
from
not dead
your
before
stories
she
on
died.
Instagram.
Oh yeah,
so
it's sick.
it's
yeah.
really good.
Oh, you
Like,
have? Yeah.
It's like the story, like his stories, like with the songs that you put on there is like really like super interesting to me because I'm not really into that. Like
No.
I can be into that, but I'm not really like familiar with that kind of music.
Yeah, so go listen. Obviously, great record, fantastic. He seems like a genuine
It's not
person.
it's not
James
an
Blake.
episode with me if it's not going off the rails.
James Blake.
Nick Drake. Or
Now Rob,
Dude,
album
wait
number
until you
2.
hear the one
number 2.
number 2.
It's the new Billy album. The new Billy.
I thought
album.
that was your number 1.
No, that's not. I know, right?
I thought, yeah.
yeah,
I was
I know,
like, you're
I
number
know.
2. I don't know what it is, but now I know. Billie Eilish.
I assumed you would do that. So why? Like, what drew you in? Well, obviously it's Billie Eilish. There's some controversy of his album. We'll talk in a second.
what is this? This is
There is. Not over his pickup.
We'll talk in a second.
Just I'll mention in a minute.
this is like her first like ultra production record. Such a great album. What is it called again? I totally forgot what it was called.
Isn't it
The
called, like,
Happier Than Ever? It's such
Blink-182.
by Blink-182. No, yeah, it's
Happier
super
Than
good.
Ever.
There's one song that I don't like on here.
Like, don't like or
and
just not a fan of?
It's just like kind
Is
of
your
out of
favorite
place.
the one that's downloaded?
No, and actually that's the one that I don't like.
Are you sure? Why do you
Yeah,
have to download
I think it just
You
was
just
just on a
wanna
playlist
listen.
that I like.
I
that you
also
don't
learned
like.
that Rob dislikes things before he really loves them, so that
Yeah.
might be a.
And-
He'll love that song.
And
later
I
on.
think this was like one of everybody's like favorites. It's NDA. It was
NDA.
my least favorite on this
Okay,
album.
so
I heard that song.
it was
once.
all produced by Phineas still and
Still?
Billie Eilish together,
And
which I
Phineas.
assumed. I thought that was true. His production, I find I
Super
listened
huge,
to.
but I mean, no limitations.
Yeah.
you know.
No, he's really good, and he's really very, very good producer.
all
no
the
shade.
creative control under
Also,
her.
this is the album they did. They did this full album, and they did it. They did it like re-recorded live at this like Disney studio stage.
Oh, I
they
saw
did
that
that.
release. I didn't watch it though.
Yeah,
How
they
was
released it on Disney Plus, and like
Oh,
it's
yeah,
like
I
a
remember
visual
that.
concert. It's a concert.
Was it on Hulu too?
No, I think this is exclusively Disney.
Oh,
Plus.
which one was on Hulu that she had? Like she did ads for Hulu.
What? I think she just.
Did ads
think
for
that-
Hulu?
I think-
no.
I think that was her-
Spotify.
I think that was just her album.
Spotify and Hulu.
Wheelchair guy.
Blake?
That's Drake.
That's
Drake. That's the
Drake.
Degrassi
different
neck.
movie.
That
show.
is a sick
That's
throwback.
Sick throwback.
That's a good one.
That's a sick.
mentioning
Drake on
Kanye.
Degrassi next, dude.
Was it next? Why do you know?
I know this.
I didn't
Okay.
hear what you said at first. and
I'm a
you're
90s
like,
kid.
sick
Circling
throwback.
back.
I'm a
I was
true
like,
90s
hell
kid.
yeah.
That's true
Dude,
90s.
the Amanda
Wait,
Show?
you're not-
Mind.
Hey, it's not a bad take podcast with me on it. If it's not going off the rails, like I said,
That's
call
a
back.
bad
Alright, call
take.
back. All right.
Bad take.
Back to the album. I
bad
feel
take.
like there's a bunch of controversy. There was a bunch of controversy surrounding like the first music video being kind of weird and like it's her trying
Over
to
the top sexually.
No, it's not even sexually. It's just
Well,
the fact that it.
risque.
The one where she's in her PJs and she's like,
yeah, people call
okay.
it queer baiting and all that. And I'm not even going to
Yeah,
get into
okay,
that or
yeah.
unlock that because there's a
No.
bunch of stuff to deal with that I don't have the authority to speak on.
I don't.
But
yeah,
I
I'm
do
not even gonna
feel
touch that.
like all of that stuff being involved going up to this record, I
Right.
think put it into a different status in people's mind. I don't think that this album will ever be what it could have been without, same thing with Kanye. Like it's hard to until we go far enough away from everything that's happened. It's really hard to listen to this for me
Right.
with open ears without really caring about all that. That on top of like anyway, you could talk all day about like personal life things that go into it. I didn't get the experience of being able to listen to this record the same way I did her first record, knowing nothing. Her first
Right.
record really hit me, and the way it was produced with
Her
the
first record's so
yeah,
good.
it's all her voice
I
and like
love
the
that.
production
I
choices
love
on the
that
low
album
end.
so
It is absolutely insane for
I
a
feel
pop album.
This one's good.
yeah,
though.
yeah. Her first album, yeah, amazing. I feel,
This one's
I
really
feel
good
like
though.
this one is really
Yeah.
good, and I feel
Yeah.
like it'll grow on you. And
Yeah, once we
Yeah,
get far
once
enough
you-
away from it,
Mhm.
I just don't think it'll be like obviously it's not a 2021 album for me. So maybe in a few years I'll be able to hear it with
Yeah.
more of an open
yeah,
ear.
some of her runs and some of her, like her vocals are really
Yeah, she
spot
can
on.
sing
Yeah.
real well.
Yeah,
She does
super
have a
good.
beautiful voice.
yeah.
I love her voice. She
Okay.
she has a beautiful voice.
Any take on Billie Eilish? Where you
Look at
can
beautiful Mimo.
hi.
Yeah.
I would take Mimo over that album.
Yeah.
Perfect.
No,
Perfect
even if
backdrop.
it's a bad take, we
That's
can edit
fair,
it out.
yeah,
Anything
talk
do you have
your mind.
anything that
That's
like?
my opinion.
No,
it.
that one video really turned me off of it.
Same,
Yeah.
same. It's really hard for me to watch it like objectively. That combined with all the other like similar behavior
I'm gonna be honest.
displayed was weird.
I've never seen. I didn't see the video. I wanna enjoy her music because I like the first record so much.
First record's great. I don't
Yeah.
think that takes anything. I don't think she
no,
got like it's
no,
still great.
because I like the first record. I want to enjoy this record, and I don't want that to like ruin any of my opinions
Oh, yeah.
on it. So
This is interesting. I think still I
Mimo is judging you.
yeah, Mimo was like,
she's
you
like,
motherfucker.
She's like, you motherfucker. You.
Now
you better
that's a
fuck
bad
once."
take.
interesting. But
Yeah.
this hits second for you.
Second for me,
All
right.
almost first.
Listen to
Almost
it a whole
first.
bunch, obviously. Like you've
Yep,
gone
this
through
is
it a
yep.
bunch.
I listened to. Actually, it's
Is
funny.
this your
It's a
most
funny
listened
story
to?
because I was at the Starbucks. I went through the Starbucks drive-through. Oh no!
Yeah.
It was an In-N-Out drive-through, and this girl. I was wearing my Billie Eilish shirt,
Yeah.
and she was like, "Oh my god!" And it's like a teal shirt, and it has the new album, record like cover on it.
Yeah.
And,
Her, like,
she's
face,
like,
her
yeah,
body.
and
Like-
she's like, yeah.
Yeah.
And then she's like, wow, like, what's your favorite song on that album? And I was just like, it was kind of like,
Yeah.
I was like, oh shit, I don't really know any of these albums like by name or anything, or like I thought it was like super super new, so I was like, I don't know if I even like, I was like, I don't know, I haven't really listened to it, but then like looking through it after she said that, I was like, oh wait, I know like all of these
No,
songs.
it's one of those things.
And
It's
it's like,
hard even
okay,
if you love
and
the
it's like-
album to be able to. If someone comes up to you like that, it's like one of those things where you're wearing a Rolling Stone T-shirt and they're like, name 10 of their songs, and you're
Yeah,
like,
and
what?
I'm just like, but actually, I have heard like a lot of these songs on that album like at that time, and then I was like, yeah, I do, I have opinions on it, but to her at that time, I was like, I don't know, I just wearing
you're like,
the
I'm
shirt.
smart. And you came back next week and you're
yeah,
like,
I was thinking
this
about
album's
it.
the
I was
best.
thinking about it. Now I just don't go to that.
You
enough.
show her this podcast.
Here's my podcast. Here's if you really want to know what I think. here you go.
A shout out plug.
No, I did tell her, I was like, I haven't really listened to it much, but next time I come back, I'll let you know.
Ooh.
Not hitting on her. That's a bad take.
No, bad take.
Okay,
Bad take. No,
bad
you're
take.
respectful to women.
Yeah, I respect women. That album is great, and then if you watch the Disney Plus version, the visuals that they do, and it's beautiful.
I think I'll probably put on that Disney Plus
It's
just to put
beautiful.
it on the background and like exist.
But when the
I
NDA
think that
hits,
stuff's interesting. What?
when that song NDA hits,
I haven't heard it.
Eh.
Did you? That's the one you're like, eh.
yeah, it's good. It just seems kind of out of place to me. But you'll see.
I'll listen to it again. I didn't get a chance. Maybe again we'll have to have a revisit of our
Yeah,
takes
and
and
see if our-
older
And see
records.
if our minds
What's
change.
happening?
Meemaw's doing a really cute face
Oh, he's
behind you.
taking a picture of me. I thought he was doing selfies, and I was like, "That's a weird thing to do during the podcast."
But yeah, Billie Eilish, Happier
Billie
Than Ever.
Eilish.
Yeah,
Go listen.
that's
to
a
her.
number 2 for
Please,
Rob.
Number two.
Who, Mikey number 1.
This is my number one of 2021.
Number one.
It's
That was my drum
it's a punk record.
Oh, the State of Disillusion.
2021.
Yeah.
MGK.
I just dropped it last week.
Yeah. No, it's
Shameless plug.
It's Destroy Boys, and
Okay.
it's Open Mouth, Open Heart.
You heard that record?
I have not heard it.
It's
Okay.
so good.
I've
If
heard
you like punk,
Destroy Boys.
I have heard Destroy Boys.
it's
It's really good.
two of the members are female and they are of LGBTQ plus. At least I think one of them is. I'm not sure. I'm not 100%
All for
positive on
that.
that.
Yep.
Anyway, Destroy Boys, Open Mouth, Open Heart,
Yep.
top to freaking bottom. This record is so good to me. Like,
Alright.
oh my god, from the start, like
Do
the
you
first,
truly believe that? No bad song on this album.
There is one bad song,
So
and
that's
it's
what I'm
like
talking
it's
about.
like a minute long.
What
Okay.
is a bad song though?
Bad song.
Bad
It's
take.
it's not for me. There's a song on there that is not for me, and it's only a minute long. So, that's the most skippable song to me.
Are these? It's a punk album.
It is a punk
Is it pretty
album.
short album overall?
It's actually pretty lengthy for a punk album, but it's not like root punk. You know, there's
Right.
it's like
yeah, no, I don't. From what I've heard from Destroy Boys, which isn't
yeah,
like a
it's
new
like
album,
alternative
yeah.
punk, like indie punk or whatever. So, I think the most obviously there's one song that I feel like if you want to listen to this, because this is the one I showed you. There's one song on that album that if you want to start with this album, listen to the song first,
Okay.
get a taste, because it is by far the best song.
What song is it?
It's called Drink.
Drink.
Yeah, it's called Drink, and there's a music video out for it, and it is by far
Johnny Depp.
I have a
one
question.
of the best. Yeah,
I
that
have
was
a
Johnny
question.
Depp, dude.
Question.
You're recognized.
Do you guys recognize when you guys are writing songs? Do you guys recognize your best songs, and do you put them in the middle, or do you put them at last, or do you put them?
Best
I put them
songs
out and
are
let
relative.
people figure it out.
Yeah.
Yeah, that's how I figured out Meemaw's song was so popular. I did not expect that.
Yeah, I don't think that what you like or what I like in my own songs, what I think people are gonna like is ever what they like. The songs that you keep pointing out are the ones I was like, what?
Right.
Like
We-
what?
Yeah. Okay.
Whenever we played, like when we played State of Illusion, when we played that show, we wanted to put our fastest songs in the middle,
Yeah.
because I feel like for that genre, that's the songs that people want to hear
The meat and
at a
bones.
live show.
For our live
Bones,
show,
potato.
it's literally just a straight climb in BTM all the way up.
Yeah.
It starts at 115, it goes up to 160,
Yeah.
and then it just keeps going up.
Yeah, we have all the fast songs in a row though. So we have like the mid tempo songs at first. Like we start with like the kind of groovy songs,
Yeah.
and then we go into the fast BPM, kind of like a structure to a story kind of.
Okay.
Like we have
Yeah.
like the beginning, the climax, the fast parts, and then the resolution with the kind of mid-tempo songs at the end. Destroy Boys.
Destroy Boys.
Destroy Boys.
Destroy Boys.
Yeah, can't wait to hear it.
Yeah, dude, listen to that whole record, man. You need to listen to that record. I don't know if you're like into that kind of punk, but it's not like crazy like like it's not like that crazy. I don't know if you heard that. It's kind of more what?
Yeah. That's kind of the sound
Yeah, you're
of
like,
the
damn,
album.
that's what you're looking
I
for.
know.
Oh yeah. Well,
Yeah.
it's that like there's some songs that are that fast, but like it's more like just like aggressive indie. It'll-
Yeah. Anything else?
Yeah.
Any,
No, dude.
Any
Like
of y'all? None else has heard this, right? All the way through.
Nope.
I don't think. Yeah, I
No.
think you guys only heard one song, maybe two, or more. I'm not sure if you went back
Just a
and
couple.
listened.
Yeah.
But yeah, Drink, like that's the one song I recommend people to start this album with. Like obviously listen top to bottom, but like if you want to get a little
Preview.
taste, a little
Mhm.
preview of Destroy Boys as a band, I feel like Drink is a really good example of what they can do musically and lyrically. Like the song is about her like falling in love, but like obviously everything is like open to interpretation.
Yeah,
but
and you're
yeah,
how you felt
like
when
when
it
I
came
when
out
I yeah
today,
when I heard it, I was like, okay, so it's about her falling in love, but the love not being quite the same
okay.
for
Not
both
what
parties.
you expected. Or, oh
Yeah,
yeah, I
like-
see what you're saying. Yeah, yeah.
Like some of the lyrics is like you'll
Sing to me.
I don't know.
She only had green eyes, you know?
Green
These eyes.
Yeah. Yeah, it's just not fully reciprocated.
Yeah, no, like
not
it's
what you
about
wanted.
love, like with the two parties just not
Unrequited.
being on this. Yeah, like
Yeah,
the
there
two
we
parties
go.
not being
We're
the
quitted.
same.
Un-
Yeah, like she understand me like she did. She really loved me, and then later it's like, I forgot the lyrics.
It's
I
all
forgot
good.
the lyrics, but the lyrics are good.
Then-
Lyrics
but
are
they're
good. The
Trust
chorus
me.
is really good.
Yeah,
Yeah,
I'll have to give it a.
And then-
little.
and
I'm
then I think
honestly
at the end
excited
it's like-
to
yeah.
give it a shot.
it's so good.
I'll have to
That's
start.
I will put that on my music stream, on my reaction stream.
I guess these are our favorite records of this year.
Right.
Not to rank them necessarily, because I don't think you can rank a record. But for you, is that like one of your favorite records of all time? Is it mostly your favorite just because it came out in the, or is it? It's your favorite that came out in this year. How does that rank on? Like, does it rank with your top records of all time? Does it?
No,
does
not
it
of-
sit there with.
Not of all time. No.
But is it something you feel like you're yourself going back to in future
Oh yeah,
years?
I can tell that if the more I listen to this record, the more I'm going to probably put it in my favorites.
Okay, yeah.
Because there was this one, I wished it came out in 2021 because it would be my number one. It came out in 2020, but there's another punk band called the Bomb Pops, and it's kind of like the same. I'm pretty sure Destroy Boys is like a huge Bomb Pops fan, but they're two female. Two female members
Yeah.
are the same, so it's kind of like the same lineup.
There's a through line for
Yeah.
you and female vocalists.
I
which
love
is great.
them, dude.
No,
I
I
love female vocalists. They're
I-
so good at singing.
I think that we talked about that not too long ago about
Yeah.
the weirdness of just listening to men serenade you, which I
Yeah.
guess is true for most people because there's a lot of male vocals out there and a bunch of like
Yeah.
very famous male artists. But like at the same time, like I think it's interesting to have so much more exposure
Yeah.
to women having the lead in bands in general
Yeah.
and being able to express something that's truly individual.
Yeah, no, I like what I was saying is that the original or not the original, the 20. So I wish it came out in 2021, but the way that the Bomb Pops record,
Yeah.
Death in Venice Beach, which is another one you guys need to listen to. Not it's side note.
Yeah, we'll do one about the 2020 albums. We'll
Yeah,
do one about every
2021,
year.
2020 album.
Let's
So
go
the
backwards
way
in
that
years
happens
and
is
never do 2022.
the way it happened for me with that album is what I feel like it's going to happen with this album, because I listened to it a lot more and I ended up like that album, that Death in Venice Beach album is by far my favorite punk album of all time.
Yeah, okay. That's
Yeah, so
interesting.
I feel like this with it has the same vibe. Like this record has the same vibe as that one because I feel like the more I listen to it, the more I'm going to love it. The more
some
I'm
sort
gonna
of spiritual successor
Yeah.
in your mind. Yeah, that's interesting.
it's gonna be. Yeah, I feel like that's gonna happen.
heavily recommend then.
Yeah.
Give a
please.
go listen.
Number
I heavily
one.
recommend them as a band.
But yeah, okay. So do you think you, as you mentioned, you've loved the Bomb Pops?
Yeah.
This is a band you just recently got like enthralled in.
Oh yeah, like
Okay.
I heard one song that came out in 2020. It didn't get me at first.
Yeah.
Like it didn't hit with me at first, and then I listened to this album, and then I went back and listened to that song, and I was like, I fucking love this song.
All right,
It's funny how
that's
that works.
sick.
Yeah, like, yeah. So Destroy Boys, man.
Destroy Boys.
Sick name too, by the way.
Are you ready, Rob?
Oh shit.
Yeah. So
Wait, no, knee slaps.
Tyler the Creator, Call Me If You Get Lost by Tyler the Creator.
me if you get lost.
Or DJ Drum.
Yeah, that's my number one.
Yeah.
My number one.
Yeah, why?
yeah.
I mean, it's Tyler the Creator, so like, I think that there's an
Yeah.
instant draw to anything this man makes. But
Yeah, he's a really interesting human, and he's a really great musician. And this is just another one of those albums. But I feel like, apart from his like couple recent albums before this one, he's kind of going back to his roots in a way, but like newly improved, with like just like more musical.
That's
like,
interesting.
yeah, he hasn't rapped in a
soundscapes.
while.
It's awesome, and then the features on this are incredible.
Yeah, no,
my opinion.
I think that speaking of features, I guess since you just mentioned it, it's with the little Wayne verse.
Yeah,
that just
and,
came out of
and then
nowhere.
just just
We listened
just to
to that
get
on
just
the
to
way
get
here,
my top
man.
my top
That-
track, with Lil Wayne, it's so good.
It's great to hear him because
I mean, there's two, but the one I'm talking about is Hot Wind Blows.
Yeah.
So freaking fire.
Yeah, the whole record's great.
Fantastic.
I was listening to this when it first came out, and I was driving around
it
again.
came
in
out
the
pretty
middle of
early in
nowhere.
the year.
Right?
Yeah, it came out
Yeah,
March.
it came out before Donda did, but Donda kept getting delayed, so I don't remember when.
Did,
that
Yeah.
was.
didn't it come out March?
I was
or
June
April?
or July.
Some-
I don't think it matters super when.
No.
I mean, maybe we could figure
We're
it
dating
out.
it.
Yeah, we're dating it. It's music is
Taking
more
it
than
out.
the time it came out in.
Yeah.
We're talking about music in 2021.
Yeah, music's more about
Music's
the release
more
date.
about-
It's more about the feeling you get.
This came out June
Astrological
25.
What?
June 25.
I was close.
Yeah.
All right, I
Damn.
thought
Okay.
no. It was
Then
I
you-
remember because it was like really hot and I was driving in the middle of like nowhere and I was
Yeah.
just listening to this record and I was like, damn.
I was
It's hot
listening
as
to it. Fun fact about me: I was listening to it while I was soaking in my bathtub.
Sweet. That's a
Imagine
weird,
that.
tender way to
Picture
listen
it.
to Tyler the Creator.
That
is it
was
not?
I had it
Sweet.
I had it on the speaker. I had the lights obviously on. I'm afraid of the dark. And then I was just laying.
obviously.
Obviously.
I was just laying
Put
in
that
my
in bold
bathtub.
text.
And then halfway through,
And then quote him.
spilt water
Hell
everywhere
yeah.
because I was headbanging so much.
It was good.
Yeah, freaking good.
really
And then
good.
yeah.
Yeah,
so much I have to
anything
say about
specific
this.
on this record that drew you in? I mean, obviously you were invested because, I mean, for me, the investment is it's Tyler the Creator. You don't really need to quantify that, like, with the amount of music he's put out at this point. Like, you're going to listen to it at some point, just
Yeah.
like Kanye.
Yeah.
Every time.
Kanye.
Kanye.
I would have been like Kanye.
Yeah,
Like,
Kanye.
Kanye.
I think I was listening to it, and just like it's like very subtle what he does, like.
Well, yeah, subtle in like a brash way, like in the Tyler way. He's
I
subtle.
meant the instrumentation's like very subtle. Like there's a lot of like empty
Depth,
space,
yeah.
and like he uses like the space to his advantage. In this
Yeah, he
album,
like fills it with like talking. Like,
Yeah,
he
and
has
then-
his other guys
and then,
stuff.
but
He
then
sails it
also
with
you know
absurdity. It's
you have the
crazy.
classic synthesizers and like big
Mhm.
freaking boomy basses that he uses.
Yeah,
and,
dude,
and
the
it's just
bass on that album.
instrumentation on
It
this.
hits.
It's so good, and then it throws me back to like
Me really like it took me back to Cherry Bomb.
So
hot take. I don't like Cherry Bomb.
Tyler the Creator.
the Creator.
He
That's
released this record and it all felt very. He had something to say and he
Yeah.
wanted to get.
He
something
wanted
across.
he wanted people to be like. I feel like he wanted people to be like, he's back.
Well, not only that, no, there felt like there's something
But he
behind it.
never
So
left.
he keeps referencing the same situation throughout the whole album in context of his life, and at the very end, he gives you the story of why of his relationship. But everything up to that point in this record, talk about it like conceptually from his mind, or at least from how I picture this going. Like it feels to me like it starts out with him like going through life and trying to cope with this situation without ever addressing it,
Right.
and at the very end, he addresses it and also takes responsibility. And accepts it in a way, and I feel like that is a really cool character arc. It feels like a complete story in a
Tyler-
way
album.
you really
Yeah,
don't
very
get.
nice.
Tyler's music
Would you
just
say-
reminds me of a novel.
Yeah, would you say this
Yeah.
is like a conceptual like album, kind of like a kid?
Yes and no. It's
a conceptual album about his life.
yeah. I think that in a loose sense, yeah, it definitely. I think it's narratively driven.
Yeah.
I don't know if that makes it a concept album. I do think it's narratively driven. I don't know what the difference would be.
Okay.
Yeah. I think you have a different take, but I think your take is somewhere between mine and Rob's.
No,
No?
I didn't like it at all.
You didn't like
Yeah.
it at all.
No.
Yeah.
It's interesting.
I think it's really good, but the difference between it and Igor felt like an art masterpiece and something that
I think that's why I went into
Yeah.
expecting
Did
Igor
you
part
did you like
2.
Igor?
Yes. That
Igor
was
is his
amazing.
best record by far, in my opinion. And not even his best
Whoa.
record. It might be one of the best
Now
records.
that's a hot take.
No, because
That
he
is a
won
hot
like
take.
best rap record or whatever for it.
I
and he
loved
quotes-
Igor. Okay, here's
He's like,
my
it's not a
hot
rap
take.
record, and I think that's what's interesting. Is it's well beyond what it's being labeled
I
as
loved
in
Igor.
2020.
Don't get me
wrong.
wrong. I loved Igor,
Yeah.
but I think my favorite my favorite Tyler album is Flower Boy.
Great.
And
But-
that's what I would expect. That's what I would expect from you.
Really?
Yeah, no,
Yeah.
I agree.
Yeah, that's very
Being
nice.
a younger male.
Exactly. That's why
generation.
Igor was so goddamn good. It's good to not
I'm
relate
literally
to Igor.
like 3 years younger than you guys.
No,
What do
it's-
you mean?
No,
Yeah, but
it
it's
is
still-
a difference in life.
Well, no, it's
I don't know,
a few
it's
things can happen
interesting.
in 3 years. You can go from Flower Boy to Igor.
I fucking
How
love
old are
his
you? You're
early
20?
shit.
How old are you?
I'm 20.
Yeah, what? And you're 6 years younger than me.
That doesn't matter.
That's a whole child ago.
No.
That is
That's
a-
someone going to school.
You listen. You.
I could have had a child and they could be in school.
You say that, but then I listen. I literally listen to like that doesn't matter. But
No, it's not about when you listen to it. In my opinion, the
so
take-
you're saying that my shit like
No, Flower Boy is so good.
No, it's
like,
great.
It's a great
It's
album.
amazing.
It's
We're not saying
absolutely
it's
fantastic.
stop attacking me.
not. I just meant like okay, someone
You
that I would
youngie.
expect to be like in a
Youngin.
younger generation. That would be the album
yeah,
because that's what they would grow up on. That's what they grew up on.
I was
Well, not that, but like
the reason Flower Boy is my favorite Tyler record is because I'm more
Kali
into.
Uchis.
I love Kali Uchis. I love her so much.
Kali Uchis.
Dude.
I don't know anything about her,
see
but
you
she's
again.
really
Kaylee
good.
Itchies.
Do you know what my favorite album is?
No.
It's actually Wolf.
What?
I heard an interview with Tyler and he said that like Cherry Bomb was like it was supposed to like piss you off and be bad.
It's him and
But it ended up
angst.
being,
It's him like
really
trying to
fucking
annoy you.
good.
And
Yeah.
I mean he did a very good job because I didn't really listen
Cherry
to
Bomb's
it.
the greatest fucking album since the
It's
days
the
of sound.
reason. It's the reason we have Igor because he was allowed to make Cherry Bomb. And
It's
all
the
that.
reason we have "Don't Call Me If You Get Lost" or
Yeah.
"Call Me If You Get Lost."
No, it is like all.
Don't
of
I
these
appreciate
albums.
it.
Don't
I
call me
appreciate
Will.
it. I still think it's good,
Don't
but
call
it's
me.
like
Yeah,
not-
it's not your favorite.
it's not my favorite.
Yeah.
Yeah, I think that this Renew record
And
is.
actually, I think it's his worst.
That's interesting.
We're not just doing hot
But it's not
Tyler
bad.
takes
Okay,
now.
okay.
We're talking about the
Call
album.
me if you get lost.
Yeah,
It's great.
We're talking about
But
the
you
album,
can't talk.
Cherry Bomb.
You can't talk about it without referencing his past.
At every turn.
It's a very
Ice Cube.
controversial boy.
So
Ice
that was
Cube.
Call Me If You Get Lost. Any other notes on it at all?
Such a good album. Billy, close
All right.
first.
We'll
For
go
me.
back over any album mentions you have. All right. So
Yeah.
I guess my record is not by any shockers. If you see my Spotify playlist, by far the Vince Staples by Vince Staples record. Holy shit!
Yeah.
It is one of the best records I've ever heard in my entire life. Not even sonically, because I feel like the last two records I mentioned were a lot more sonically engaging and intricate. But the verses and the realness that he displays lyrically.
We're just listening.
We were listening
on the way
to some
here.
of the stuff.
Dude, the samples on
It's
this
so
thing,
fucking
like
good,
just
dude.
the soundscapes, I
In-
fucking love.
So-
I
so good.
love.
Do you guys listen to the first two tracks, right? I'm assuming.
Yeah.
Are you with that? And
It's so
in
good.
Law of Averages, the way his vocal. So you have his main vocal going through, and then you have these all of his ad lib vocals that feel because there's nothing else in those frequencies. They're so clean, and that really
Everything about
put
it was
me.
like production was so clean.
Yeah, Kenny Beats.
So
Shout out
good.
Kenny Beats.
Kenny Beats. K.
Whoa, Kenny.
Yeah, he
Lil
did
Ken
produce that.
Beats.
Yeah.
It's just a complete vibe.
Yeah.
When we were listening to it, it was just. I honestly felt like I didn't know where we were,
Yeah.
Like I'm gonna be 100%
so
honest
grimy.
with you.
It's like the the freaking.
I was looking
It
at
just feels like a very like I don't know.
I was
very
looking at my
hip-hop,
phone
like, underground.
when we were driving, listening to it. I was looking at my phone, and I didn't know what I was looking like. I didn't know what I was doing. I was just mindlessly listening because I was feeling all the shit that was going through my ears.
Yeah, and
I didn't know. And then, like as soon as I snapped back to it,
smack back to reality.
Snap back to
there goes
reality.
gravity.
you called one of them, and then I realized we were
We were
here.
driving,
So
Just
we were
getting lost.
we were there.
Lost.
I was
Yeah.
just lost in
Call
the
me
sauce,
if you get
man.
lost.
I had to call.
Yeah.
I think I'm most excited for that one to listen to.
I
listen
think
to
that
Donda,
it's worth
but
listening
that's
and
fine.
re-listening.
Yeah, I'm super excited for Donda. To listen
He also has like a lot of really good lines in there. I think you can take apart the lyrics and really get more out of it, even if you don't like
Yeah.
whatever about it, which you should because it's amazing.
Right.
Vince
Not to
Staples.
overstate it. Best album. Vince Staples, go stream it. That's all I'll say. Just
Please.
go stream it.
Just go listen to it.
Yeah. Oh,
Do
and then
yourself a
I was
favor.
listening a lot to Doris because
Doris.
Yep.
Yep.
That's just an honorable mention from an album that came out like fucking 8 years ago or
All the
whatever.
boys. All
But
the boys.
Vince
from-
Staples is on that too.
And
Again,
then,
I got really into
and
him
then,
this year.
what is it? Blonde man? Blonde? What's that guy's name?
Oh, he has that song Sunday on that where he's Frank Ocean raps on that
Frank
record.
Ocean.
Frank Ocean.
Anyway,
Dude,
we're
so
not
many-
talking about
No,
Earl
but just,
Sweatshirt.
it's
Shout
just,
out to
it's
Earl,
just
though.
amazing how like it's like super group came at it like
Yeah, they're all really good
You
musicians.
talking about Odd Future?
yeah.
That's not even Odd Future. None of those guys. The only two people in Odd Future were Earl and
Earl and Frank.
no,
Earl
Frank
and
wasn't even in
Tyler.
Odd Future. He was on a bunch of songs. He was never.
He
a part
wasn't
of Odd
like
Future.
in Odd Future.
No, Yeah. Go stream Vince. Did you listen to any of it? Have you heard that record,
Nope,
Vince
I
Staples?
haven't.
I recommend listening to the. Oh, there's a NPR performance, which is good.
Cool.
Kenny Beats plays bass.
Interesting.
Interesting. I gotta see that.
Yeah,
That's
right.
go stream Vince Staples.
In a dream.
Or,
Yeah. What is it? What is that thing that people say when they go last?
last but not
book-
least.
book-
Last but not least.
He just is like technically it's the 1st of January, but my own album.
Yeah.
No, I think I know what it is, and it's the reason I wanted to go last because I have a lot to say about it too, because it's one of my biggest surprises this year. I didn't know anything about it, and then it released, and it I think swept everyone in the music industry a little
Except
bit.
for Fantano.
Did he not like it?
He hated it.
That's
With
interesting.
his little pussy
Wait,
ears.
I think I know
hate
what it is.
Fantano. I hate Fantano.
I think I know what
Fuck
it is.
that
No,
guy.
he
Hot take.
gave Vince Staples' wife Vince Staples like a 7, and I was like, that's whatever. But that's how I feel about like you can't. That's why it scores to music. You can't. It could be a 0 and still be my favorite record.
Yeah.
And this record is shocking.
Yeah.
Right.
Well, yeah. Fantano said it wasn't worth reviewing. That was the thing. Yeah, he put it in the things. Album's not worth reviewing. Yeah,
Ultra.
he said it was that
What?
bad. Yeah.
Wow.
Yeah,
Okay,
I know, right?
what-
but Ultra
album?
Pop by The
Ultra Pop.
Armed. Yeah, all caps.
Yes.
Detroit collective.
So
Fucking
hyped on this
sick.
album. This
It's
album
crazy.
is
Sick.
so
Holy
amazing.
shit.
This is a sick one. Yeah, it's got
Yeah.
fucking. I just wrote down a little bit about it because it's got all the credits on the back of it. But fucking, you got Mark Lanigan of the Screaming Trees and Queens of the Stone Age, Troy Van Leeuwen of Failure, A Perfect Circle, and Queens of the Stone Age, Ben Collar of Converge, and it's produced by Dan Green and Kurt Ballou. So people have just been in this for like a long fucking time. You know, it's not
Yeah,
just some
bunch
random
of
people.
years.
That is cool.
Yeah.
That's a
It's just
fucking
insane.
lineup.
Yeah, it is. It'll blow your fucking mind away whenever you hear that. Have you heard this
shit.
one yet?
No.
This thing is fucking
Dude,
nuts.
this
It's
thing-
The
fucking
intro track
amazing.
will
It's
blow
got
your
so
mind
much
along.
shit. Yeah, it just gets better and better. It gets intense.
I think I'll start with that one on the
Yeah,
stream.
I heard the first album, the first track.
Should I?
Then the second track, I was like, "What the fuck is
Give
going
What should I
on?"
start
give
with?
yourself a tease. Listen to something you've heard before listening to this.
Don't call me
You
if
need-
you get lost.
Yeah, listen to all of Call You Call
I'll
Me If
listen
You
to
Get
all
Lost.
of Donda.
Listen to Donda 4 times and then listen to this.
Oh shit.
No,
Yeah,
it's crazy.
I'll end the stream with that then.
I think it's consistently intriguing, and I think as I was telling you before the cameras were rolling, in stark contrast to the first album you mentioned, the I can't pronounce their name.
Paranol?
Paranol. They feel like, again, you can almost make shapes out of the kind of blobs of the music. Not that it's blob music, but all of that noise kind
Thanks.
of develops into this kind of more versus everything that is in this Armed record in Ultra Pop feels as though you can hear it individually and as a whole separately. Like they feel like I don't know. There's something about the way it's produced that it feels so clean in its chaos, and it makes any sense.
Yeah,
Mhm.
so sick.
Yeah, it's so proficient for being so insane. Like big
Yeah.
ideas nonstop.
Big
So
ideas
much energy.
and big
It's
execution.
nuts.
I think that's
Yeah.
what's crazy. Is it
Yeah, they
feels like
fucking
more.
nailed it. That's
Yeah.
yeah, it's nuts.
Shit. Yeah.
Yeah,
Think
I think you'd really enjoy this.
Crazy. Is it called
If
genre
it-
bending?
from the fucking lineup of
Yeah.
I think I will.
yeah, right. Yeah, it's
fucking-
got more on there than that too.
I love Perfect Circle.
Queens of the Stone Age.
Queens
I
of the
didn't even
Stone
know
Age.
that.
Yeah,
So
Have you seen Hot Rod?
with
Have you seen Hot Rod?
with that guy who jumps the buses?
Yeah.
Andy
Yeah.
Samberg,
Yeah.
bro.
Do you know that band that they're playing before he jumps the buses?
Europe?
No. Oh, is it? What is it?
That's
the
Europe,
band that they're
right?
playing that's like Wings of an Angel.
Okay, yes.
Isn't
Yeah,
that
yeah.
Europe?
That's Queens of the Stone Age.
Are you
bro.
serious?
Yeah. And they wrote those
They wrote
songs.
those songs for it? That's sick.
Yeah.
That's
What the
cool.
fuck?
Super freaking good.
I've never seen the movie.
So
I
good.
saw most of it. I fell asleep.
Honorable mention. Just an honorable
Honorable
mention.
mention Hot
Honorable
Rod.
mention.
Yeah, you've heard this whole record,
Bill Hader.
Roberts? Most of it. I think I've heard
Not
the
all
whole
of
thing
it,
maybe
but
once.
I've listened to the whole thing, but just like scattered.
Yeah.
Yeah, not in a single sitting, just like randomly on shuffle and stuff. Super freaking amazing.
Yeah, did you watch the? You've heard the intro though, the first song.
Yeah.
That crazy orchestral chaos, whatever the heck you want to call it. I think that's one of the most intriguing things. That dropping out into one of the first songs, and that like juxtaposition of what they like, the chaos that like ensues for most of it, and then there's bits of like beauty. I think that's what's genuinely
And
intriguing.
then what is it? The second track that like hits you with the freaking screaming.
Oh yeah, no, that's what I'm
Metal.
saying. Yeah, like there's like a consistency of that. That's almost like at certain points, like where you feel like you're standard, and then all of a sudden it drops away. But it
Yeah.
intros you with this beautiful, like almost misleading, like it grabs you in.
Yeah, it's so great. Yep.
Ultra Pop the Armed.
Ultra Pop. Listen, we should
go
yeah, let's put
listen
that
to
one on the
it.
stream,
Give
too.
it like good
Just listen to
speakers.
it.
Give it good
yeah, you gotta
speakers.
have good speakers. Don't be listening to that on AirPods or something. You'll
Yeah.
screw yourself. Yeah.
I think that there's some of these albums you can get from them from other things, AirPods and like some other things. And there's a lot you can get from music. This is an album that you definitely this one and well, really most of your albums really deserve
Yeah, because they're
good
too
speakers.
noisy without. It won't sound right on something like AirPods or earbuds. You need headphones or speaker setup.
But definitely, yeah, this one for sure, because there's that clarity, especially on the low end. Like
Yeah,
it feels like
it sounds great.
yeah, takes you on a journey of like uncomfortability back to like safety in a way that like it's pretty cool. It's pretty insane. It sounds hard to make and is.
I know that's what. Yeah, that thing inspired the hell out of me. That thing is just nuts. Like, how the fuck did you? But yeah, looking at those credits, it makes sense. They know what the fuck they're doing.
Yeah, they've
For
had
sure.
time to
Mhm.
develop.
It's insane. How long do you think that it's like for them to write
Well, the last one was 3 years ago,
that? Yeah.
but it's a big crew.
Yeah, it's
It's
dudes,
two guys
right?
writing it all and
Oh,
all
so
that,
like-
and then they got people to perform
And
it.
then- okay.
Yeah, and then they got people to tour it.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Okay. Cool. Yeah, that's cool. Ultra Pop.
Ultra Pop. Yeah, if you're doing a listening party, shout out. You should just try and listen to the beginning of Lingus. I can't pronounce her name. That artist, Ignota. I'll send it to you.
Yeah, you gotta send it to me.
It's incredible. And then, yeah, listen to the Idols record because it's amazing. Anything
Yes.
else that came with there that like really? I mean,
Just Tread, Ross from Friends.
Tread by Ross from Friends is maybe.
Yeah, I didn't hear any solid
the top
albums.
best.
I heard a bunch of cool singles, but
Yep.
those were the ones that were like, those are the best albums.
There's
of
the
year for me.
EPs that came out that were great. There's an EP by a band called Paris, Texas, and they are a band, rapper, whatever you want to call them, a group. They're great. And that record's really cool. But it's an EP, so I couldn't really include it. It's like four or five tracks.
Right. Animo Drive just put out his second single ever 3 weeks ago, and it's really good.
It's cool. I'll
Yep.
have to look them up.
It's
I
a good
haven't heard.
one.
Anything else that came out serious?
Yeah, I mean that Home Shake album,
Home Shake?
Home Shake.
Under the Weather, and another honorable mention that an album that I really like loved. It came out recently. It was that Delta Sleep album,
Delta Sleep. Never
Spring Island.
got into Delta Sleep, but
Yeah,
I've heard a
very
bunch of
mathy,
people
very
love them.
rock, very good. Just listen to them; they're good. If you like rock, that's in mathy rock.
I was re-listening to Aesop Rock's record that he released this
Oh,
year. There's some
Garbology.
Garbology, which I think
I still
upon
gotta
first
listen to that one.
upon first listen, I thought that it was not. I mean,
Oh no, I did this.
yeah, we
one.
listened a
I
little
didn't
bit.
like the
It's a
beats.
little bit
That's what it
more.
was, yeah.
It's definitely in stark contrast to the record he made with Tobacco.
Yeah.
The intricacy and the like engagingness of Malibu Ken, I think, really is this
set a
record's a
standard.
lot more. Well, this record's a lot
For
more of like a
me.
rap record. It's a more of a
Yeah.
New York rap thing, which I think is great.
Cool.
And there's some really good songs on there. I sent you one that I really liked. Difficult's really fucking good, and the whole record's worth listening to. It's just
I'll
Yeah,
check
it
out
didn't
again.
get enough attention from
Did
me.
that
It
come
didn't
out
get
this
enough
year?
time from me. Yeah.
Yeah,
came
I
out
feel
not
like
too
it was
months ago.
fairly new, right?
Yeah, it came out recently-ish.
I want to
Horrible
listen
looking.
to it. I just haven't had the time.
Worth time. I listened to most of it. It's really good. I just didn't get the time for me while I was listening to a bunch of other records. Again, a lot of older. Again, my year kind of consisted of listening a lot to people that I've been really associating with the vibe of, and like music that I never really got to appreciate previous years. So, shout out to Earl. What about Mikey? Any honorable mentions? Anything that stood out to you
Yeah.
this year that you were crazy?
I have a couple. I thought the new Brockhampton record
Yeah.
is really good.
Let's cut it. That's a bad.
So you said honorable mentions, right? The new Brockhampton is pretty good.
One more time. No,
What's
yeah.
wrong with the
Yeah, no, I
Brockhampton
haven't-
record? I loved it.
I'm sorry. Go for it.
I
Yep.
love that record. It's really good.
I haven't listened. I haven't. I never actually
The
listened
music
to a
videos
full.
are crazy.
I think I've only heard Saturation 3 all the way
that
through.
new Brockhampton is really good.
I only got up to Saturation 7. And then
Did
I
you like
stopped.
the new Brockhampton record?
I haven't heard it.
It's really good.
Okay.
My other honorable mention is
I'm just kidding. I'm ragging on Brockhampton. I love Brockhampton.
because of the people that they kicked out.
I stopped listening to them when that happened.
Yeah, I hope they make more music with the people
They're,
who are
they're
cool.
still really good. No,
Yeah.
they're still really good.
With the people that are cool. I like that. I like that. PC
Yeah.
way of moving. Okay. Any other records
Yeah,
or things that you
the
love?
new it just came out 2021. The new Juice World record. Yep. Chasing. I think it's chasing memories or no. Chasing Demons. That's what it's called. It's so good. It's so good. Juice World. I wasn't really a big fan of Juice World when he was alive. Yeah,
All right. Yeah. Oh,
something.
In a dream.
that Ives Tumor record.
Yeah, the EP one. That
Yeah.
was torture. No, wait, no, it's not something else. What is it called?
Oh, it's just.
But that
I
one's
just
really
scrolled
fucking
past it.
amazing.
Yeah.
Yeah, bring up that
Yeah.
one. I have a music video. This is the best music video I saw last year. Was put it over on that one. This is Anonymous Club, Bleeding Out, featuring Leech and Izzy Spears. It's fucking amazing.
Mm.
Check that video out. It still only has 8,000 views. It's fucking amazing.
No.
I
Toss a
just-
book. Bring an album.
Yeah.
This was Bad Take.
No, that's fine.
All right. Toss the book. Bring it out. Yeah. Bad take.
You can-
I think that.
You can edit the
rip
weekend
a
part
book?
out.
Yeah,
Rip a book,
shout out
bring an album?
In a Dream. Go listen, stream the new album. Honestly, he sent me the track before it was released, and or the file of the whole 40 whatever minutes it is, and some of the sounds on here I didn't think were like I've never heard before, and it's really intriguing. So
Yeah.
heavily recommend that. It came out 2022 though, first album of 2022 that I've heard. More music from Mikey and his band soon. His band.
Mm-hmm.
State of Delusion. InADRM.com.
INADRM.com. Merch by Rob.
Just one
Merch by
One merch. Just one merch. I don't want
shout outs to the new merch coming out for us soon. Rob,
to. Cerebral. Shameless plug.
share it.
Please
Sarah Hall.
follow.
Yeah.
We have stuff coming out soon.
We have
Yep.
music.
We put all the
coming.
links to all in the bio
Um,
right to this. or in the
Yeah, thank you
description.
guys
Link
for
to the
being.
description
Microphone
Yeah,
everything.
thank you guys for coming and being a part of it. Part of this. You guys were great. Great albums. I
Yeah.
really had a good time.
Hell yeah. We put them all in a playlist here on Spotify
Yeah, we'll have a playlist, and then we'll be
We're at
having
3 hours.
listening
We're gonna have to edit a
stream.
lot.
by Mikey on
listening
Twitch.
stream on Mikey at Twitch. Maybe I'll join him. We'll see.
I'm gonna be there, too.
Twitch.tv
/.
/
Kukri
/
MM.
Spell that.
Yeah, right.
KUKRUIMM.
There you go.
Kukri.
Here, I'm gonna send that
Yeah.
playlist over to you guys.
Sweet. Playlist up, boys.
Hey, good job, guys.
Good job. Good job.
Thank you guys for joining the Bad Take podcast. It's been a pleasure having you guys on.
Do you want to rate the worst take we had tonight? I think it was that
It was the
Flower
oh.
Boy is the best.
No,
Tyler
I think
record.
Bad Take cookie cutter shit.
I remember going,
Fuck the Beatles.
Bad Take.